The confirmed number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County in the last 24 hours is 2,293, with 20 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 31 additional cases were reported and no new deaths. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Christine Lee. It's Wednesday, August 4th. The White House announced details of how they plan to help slow the spread of the coronavirus, not only here in the U.S., but abroad. President Joe Biden says the U.S. donated more than 110 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines to more than 60 countries that are in need of these shots. The 110 million doses were donated largely through a global vaccine program known as COVAX. The White House said in a statement that at the end of August, the U.S. will begin shipping 500 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine to 100 low-income countries. The 100 million doses donated came from the U.S. surplus vaccine stock as the pace of domestic vaccinations slowed due to vaccine hesitancy in the country. According to UNICEF, while more than 1.4 billion doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been administered as of late May, less than 1% of the global supply was actually getting to low-income countries. Under Biden's sharing plan, about 75% of U.S. doses will be shared through COVAX. As COVID cases continue to surge with the highly contagious Delta variant, health officials also recommended that everyone, even those who are fully vaccinated, resume wearing face coverings in some public indoor settings again. Big corporations are stepping up in the fight against COVID-19. Companies like Tyson Foods announced they will require all of its U.S. employees to get vaccinated against COVID-19, becoming one of the first major employers of the frontline workers to do so amid a resurgence of the virus. Tyson also announced that members of its leadership team must be vaccinated by September 24th, with the rest of the office workers by October 1st and frontline workers by November 1st. Tyson says just under half of its U.S. workforce, or about 56,000 employees, have been vaccinated after company hosted more than 100 vaccination events since February. The Springfield-based company plans to continue with those events and offer a $200 bonus for all frontline workers who get the vaccine. Microsoft also announced that it will require proof of vaccination for all employees, vendors, and visitors to its U.S. offices starting September, following similar actions taken by Google and Facebook. Microsoft also postponed its planned return to the workplace from September to October, although it will allow flexibility for some employees to continue working from home, including parents of children who are not eligible for the vaccine. Other companies such as Amazon, Walmart, and major grocery chains have so far declined to mandate vaccines for their frontline workers to avoid employee turnovers. In Las Vegas, MGM Resorts International announced that unvaccinated employees would have to pay $15 to get tested for the virus on site or obtain a test off site and bring in the results. The company also said that unvaccinated employees would not be paid for time off to quarantine if they test positive for the virus. The Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors could require all county employees to show proof of vaccination or face weekly testing. Board members plan to discuss this proposal at their next meeting on Tuesday, which could impact nearly 100,000 employees. The proposal asks that county healthcare workers be required to get a COVID-19 vaccine, and other county employees have the option to get vaccinated or test regularly. The board will also consider whether to include county contractors in the mandate. This comes after California announced that all state and healthcare workers will need to verify that they've been vaccinated against the virus. According to the LA County Public Health Department, close to 61% of all county residents are now fully vaccinated. Public Health Director Dr. Barbara Ferrer says there has been a slight uptick recently in the rate of people getting vaccinated. As the beginning of the school year quickly approaches, hundreds of colleges across the country are announcing vaccine mandates before students return to campus. California State University, the country's largest four-year public university system, joined the list most recently along with Michigan State University by issuing updated mask guidelines, citing concerns about the highly contagious Delta variant. The University of California system initially held off on inoculation requirements, but have now announced mandates for students and employees. Equally, many colleges have held off on vaccine mandates due to the challenges school leaders face in adopting safety requirements for in-person classes. Some campuses have sidestepped pushback by instead offering enticements, such as prize drawings for free tuition and computers in an effort to boost student vaccination rates to 80% or higher. Now, private colleges like Harvard, Yale, Notre Dame, Duke, and California's Stanford have more legal leeway regarding coronavirus rules and have mandated student vaccinations. According to the Chronicle of Higher Education, among the nearly 4,000 college campuses across the U.S., more than 600 have imposed a vaccine mandate. New research by UCLA suggests simple text messages about COVID-19 vaccine availability may be subtle enough to get more people to get vaccinated. According to researchers, the text message worked at increasing vaccination rates among all demographics, even groups who were hesitant about receiving the vaccine. The study also found that language catered towards recipients, such as "the vaccination has been made available for you" or "claim your dose today," significantly increased vaccine uptake. The research was a joint effort by the David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA, the UCLA Anderson School of Medicine, and Carnegie Mellon University. Researchers looked at data from 2 randomized trials with UCLA Health patients. Most were over the age of 65 and were eligible for the vaccine in January and February. One group received a follow-up text after initially being contacted by email about the vaccination. The other group received no follow-up. The results showed that within 6 days of sending out notifications, appointment rates for those who received the reminders were almost double to those who did not. One researcher says these text messages could be used to encourage future patients to get screened for cancers or connect them to health educators to improve the outcomes in chronic conditions. Retail giant Target announced it would be spending $75 million to give each of its frontline workers a $200 bonus. It's Target's way of saying thank you to all of their hourly frontline team members for their dedication over the past 6 months. Employees include full and part-time team members in stores and distribution centers, and U.S.-based headquarters hourly team members who support guests and team member contact centers. Melissa Kremer, Target's Chief Human Resources Officer, said, quote, "Our team members continue to deliver each and every day for our guests and one another. Our culture, strategy, and success would not be possible without our incredible team at the center of it all." This is Target's latest investment in team members' health, safety, well-being, and career development, which includes moving the starting wage to $15 an hour for all U.S.-based team members. Despite social distancing guidelines throughout the pandemic, dating app Tinder reported its busiest year yet in 2020. Other dating apps like Hinge also tripled its revenue from 2019 to 2020, with expectations to double from that this year. In response to the changing demands, Tinder announced new tools that will allow users to get to know one another better online. People will be able to add videos to their profiles and can chat with others even before matching with them. The dating apps say their research shows video chats are here to stay, even as life starts to return to some sense of normalcy. Nearly half of Tinder app users say they had a video chat with a match during the pandemic, with 40% of them intending to continue them post-pandemic. Tinder, along with other popular dating apps like Hinge, OkCupid, and Bumble, say they will create badges on profiles indicating that users have been vaccinated, although there is no way to verify the process. You won't have to put off getting your real ID now thanks to a new partnership with the Automobile Club of Southern California. AAA partnered with the Department of Motor Vehicles to offer the new ID cards at 19 select locations in SoCal. AAA members can now schedule an appointment at one of the AAA locations to get this made, which means no more long lines at the DMV. It's all thanks to a pilot program where the DMV is working to streamline its processes and incorporate technology to better serve its customers. DMV officials hope this will motivate more people to get their real IDs soon and not wait until the last minute. Beginning May 3rd, 2023, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security will require a valid passport or other federally approved document like a real ID, driver's license, or identification card to board flights within the U.S. and access federal facilities and military bases. AAA members can fill out the application and upload documents on the DMV's website, then schedule an appointment at a participating AAA location and pay the usual driver's license or identification card fee. Locations closest to Torrance are in Inglewood, Manhattan Beach, Long Beach, and Rancho Palos Verdes. This program is being offered through the end of the year. Los Angeles County reported the first human case of a West Nile virus infection for this year. The patient is described as a South Bay resident who was hospitalized with a fever due to the West Nile virus in late July and is said to be recovering. West Nile is a leading cause of mosquito-borne disease in the continental U.S., and there are no vaccines to prevent it or medication to treat it. Humans can get the virus through the bite of an infected mosquito, and while not all mosquitoes carry the virus, the type of mosquito that spreads this virus is said to be found here in the county. Symptoms of West Nile include fever, headache, nausea, body aches, and a mild skin rash. Severe infections could affect the brain and spinal cord, resulting in meningitis, paralysis, or even death. Health officials say an average of about 118 cases per year have been documented over the past 5 years, with close to 9% of those infections considered severe. Now, you can reduce the risk of a West Nile virus infection by avoiding mosquito-infested areas at dawn and dusk, using insect repellent, covering up by wearing long-sleeve shirts and long pants when most mosquitoes are likely to be present, and be sure to clean out areas that can hold water where mosquitoes can lay eggs. Clean and chlorinate swimming pools, stock garden ponds with mosquito fish, and if there are other concerns, call the local vector control agency at 310-915-7370. Temperatures are expected to stay warm and dry through tomorrow here in Southern California, and residents are being warned of elevated fire danger. According to the National Weather Service, while beaches and coastal communities are expected to reach into the 80s, the inland valleys, mountains, and Antelope Valley are expected to hit triple-digit temperatures with a heat advisory in effect through 8 p.m. tonight. The public is cautioned to stay indoors, drink plenty of fluids, never leave children or pets in hot vehicles, find air-conditioned spaces like the mall or library, and be sure to check on neighbors who may have limited mobility. You can dial 211 to locate cooling centers that are open where you can go and cool off for free. Torrance made another unique list recently. 8 California cities made the go.verizon.com's list of most ambitious places to live in the U.S., and 7 of those listed were right here in Southern California. Torrance topped the list at number 3, followed by Santa Clarita, Carlsbad, Norwalk, and Thousand Oaks rounding out the top 10. Verizon looked at cities with a population size over 100,000 and weighed 6 factors: median income, unemployment, college degrees, number of business applications, the percentage of people who have started new businesses, and homeownership. To check out the full list, go to go.verizon.com. Well, before we go at the end of each program, we'd like to share feel-good stories from our community. Pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Well, last night was National Night Out, an annual campaign where communities across the country, including right here in Torrance, get to show their appreciation for their police officers on the first Tuesday in August.
Walk up to the crowd like this and you see how welcomed you are. It makes you feel good and it gives you hope.
You know, they chose a profession to protect and to serve. I didn't choose to protect and to serve, so for them doing that, I give them a lot of credit because they put their lives on the line.
This is really a coming out party after 15, 16 months of the pandemic and everybody being locked home. So I think we're seeing a bigger turnout than ever. Just the opportunity to come out and say hi to your neighbors. It's really a tremendous event.
I had the opportunity to chat with residents, community leaders, and our local officers. I learned how valuable this day is for not only the police force, but for the community members. The event was filled with hope of building stronger communities with more open lines of communication and trust. You can watch more from this special night in future episodes of Weekends in Torrance. What a great way to connect with our residents and show how we care for our community. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 Today. We'll see you back here tomorrow as Bella Shaw brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.